Hi everyone, it's Tish with Naptime Creations. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. It's free and it'll help me out a lot, so hit that subscribe button. This video is kind of like a follow-up to my last video. We're going to be making another freestanding resin crystal, and this one turned out how I had pictured in my head. My last video, the piece turned out pretty, but I had a completely different idea in my head for it, and this is more of the look that I was going for. So this piece turned out really gorgeous. Make sure you watch till the end so you can see how it turned out. I'm going to be using the floral epoxy from the epoxy resin store, and I'm just filling up the mold with that clear epoxy, just covering those crystal points in the mold. I was just making sure that each one of those little spots was covered with clear resin. And the floral epoxy from the epoxy resin store is great for projects like this because it has hardly any bubbles. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, and I'll link it down below along with my coupon code. I sprayed it with a little bit of 91% isopropyl alcohol to pop the few bubbles that I did have in there. And now I'm just going in with a silicone paintbrush and kind of getting out any bubbles that may have landed in those crystal points. And once I have those all out, I'm going to cover it up, let it dry for 24 hours, and then we'll be ready to go in and do the next step. And I did mix up my resin off camera just to save time, but if you're new to resin and you want to see a tutorial showing step by step how to mix your resin and your pigments, I will link my Milky Way coaster tutorial down below in the description box. Be sure to go check it out. I show you step by step how to mix your resin. So here we are 24 hours later, and this resin sets up very slowly. It's still kind of jelly at the 24-hour mark, which is what I wanted. So now I'm going in with some mylar iridescent glitter. Laura's Art Corner sells one. I'll link it down below. And I just covered all of that clear that we poured with the mylar glitter. And now I'm going in with my silicone paintbrush and just pushing it down because that first layer that we poured is still gel. It's going to stick really nicely. And I did end up going in with my fingertip too and just really pushing that down into the clear resin. I let that set up for another 24 hours, and now we're going to go in and pour the final layer. I'm going to be using Arteza silver mica powder mixed with some black alcohol ink and Surf's Up white from Island Micas and more. And what I did, I'm just kind of layering a 2-ounce cup with a dirty pour technique. So I went in with the black, the white, some clear, a little bit more black, and a little bit more clear, and I'm just going to pour it into my mold and fill my mold up the rest of the way. And this is going to give me a kind of a fun stone look for the back layer of this piece that we're making here. And this mold total takes about 6 ounces of resin to fill it up all the way. I filled my cup up again with a little bit of the white, a little bit of the clear, and I'm just gonna fill it up the rest of the way until it's all full. I'm gonna go in with my little silicone paintbrush, and I'm trying to just move the bubbles that I did have to the center of the mold, so that way I can just go in with a few sprays of 91% isopropyl alcohol and pop those bubbles. You know, the bubbles really like to cling to the sides of the mold, so these silicone paintbrushes are great because you can go in there, move them to, dislodge them, and then you're not going to damage your mold by using a toothpick or something like that. Sprayed it with some 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I was just I had a few pieces of the mylar glitter float up, so I was just trying to scoop those out. I covered it up, let it dry for 48 hours, and here we are ready to demold it. And when I say cover it up, I take a upside down storage container, just like a clear Sterilite storage container, and I use those to cover my pieces while they're drying, so no dust or debris lands in the wet resin. But here's how it turned out. I just love how sparkly and beautiful this one turned out. It actually looks like it's glowing from that gorgeous mylar glitter, and the way we poured the second layer, it does remind me of stone because it's got a nice variation in color. There's some darker spots, some lighter spots, and some clear spots. I really, really love how this one turned out. I'm definitely going to be making some more of these. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and be sure to go check out my previous video if you haven't seen that one. That piece turned out really nice as well, using this same silicone mold. And as always, I'll link all the materials I used down below in the description box along with any coupon codes that I have. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic, and I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye guys.